With President-elect Donald Trump heading back into the White House, alternative facts have returned. In fact, here's a video of a Fox Business host calling for the left to accept alternative science when it comes to the climate.
But it's interesting, again, if you say the climate's changing, is it coming from CO2? Is it coming from the sun? Why is the climate changing? And you would then say, well, let's have a rigorous debate about what's causing it, or what are all the factors that bring us to climate change. And when you have the left that says we're going to shut down alternative science or science that challenges our narrative, I think it makes people go, well, maybe there's a different set of priorities here as opposed to climate change. Maybe it actually is an agenda of control.
That was former Congressperson Shan Duffy asking, is it coming from the CO2 or is it coming from the sun? And we just don't know. We should have a debate about it. Oh, really? What would you be bringing to this supposed debate? Oh, right. You just said that. It would be alternative science, which is not actual science. It's pseudoscience, or what we like to call bullshit. That's what it is. Now, for me, it seems like kind of a waste of time to be arguing and debating with bad faith actors whose only viewpoints depend on who's paying them, okay, for those viewpoints. That's the reality here, all right? There is no climate debate, no matter how much the right wing wants it. And so that's why they're saying, oh, well, the left doesn't want to debate with alternative science. That's because it's not real science. It's alternative, Look, here's the thing. This is all part of muddying the waters on climate change. And by the way, speaking of muddying the waters, fossil fuel industry has done far more than muddy them, okay? Look, oil companies have been paying people in power to manufacture a debate, despite the fact that they have known since the 1950s, if not earlier, that their product is a danger to the climate. The Climate Investigation Center found a warning that came back in 1954 from the head of the Air Pollution Foundation, right? Which was a group funded by oil companies. I kid you not. According to Desmog blog, which reported on the findings, the lobbying group, now known as the Western States Petroleum Association, put about $1.3 million into the APF back in the 1950s. That's the equivalent of $14 million today. So they put money into that group and basically set it up as a public-facing, with the public-facing intent of confronting the worsening smog crisis in LA, where the number of cars had doubled between 1940 and 1950, and the area was rapidly industrializing. But with the funding coming from oil companies, including Shell, and companies that were later bought out by ExxonMobil, Chevron, and other oil giants, the foundation was actually meant to be protective of the industry, as some of the meeting minutes from 1955 had shown. At the time of APF's founding, researchers had begun warning that air pollution was caused by vehicles and refineries, and officials in LA had begun proposing new ordinances to cut down on smog. To counter this, the foundation had asked the California Institute of Technology, Caltech, to submit a proposal determining the main source of air pollution. I guess their entire idea is, let's find something else to blame that's not us. Now, Caltech geochemistry professor Samuel Epstein had submitted a proposal in 1954 warning that the Earth's climate could be affected by burning fossil fuels. He wrote, "The concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere was a matter of well-recognized importance to our civilization. After the report was submitted, APF President Lauren Hitchcock, a chemical engineer who had been recruited to lead the group, began investigating oil and gas refineries and ended up publicly demanding pollution controls across California." So this group that was supposed to be protecting oil and gas, the leader of it, actually listened to science and was like, oh no. It turns out we're the people that I represent are actually causing this problem. Great, we're going to have to cut down on pollution. Now, that did not make the donors very happy. See, this industry group literally called Hitchcock in to yell at him. Okay. As DSMOG reported, leaders of the Western Oil and Gas Association summoned Hitchcock to the California club where they reprimanded him, spelling out in no uncertain terms exactly what they expected in return for their hefty financial contributions. So they basically said, we paid you to shift the blame away from us for pollution, and you didn't do it. And so what ended up happening is Hitchcock resigned from APF in 1956 after many of the group's research projects were scaled back, and the organization took the official stance in reports that carbon dioxide emissions were, quote unquote, innocuous. APF and the intervention from its funders helped lay the strategic and organizational groundwork for Big Oil's decades of climate denial and delay, said Jeffrey Suprin, a climate disinformation expert at the University of Miami. And so that the reason that I gave you that story is to establish the context of which we're at to this very day. This guy, Duffy, knows exactly who he's working for. He's working for the oil companies. And he's still doing that disinformation. He knows who he works for. He's not going to get yelled at like Mr. Hitchcock was. Okay? He's like, no. I know who pays my bills. Right? I know who my daddy is. And so I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna spread alternative science. The reason that we have alternative science that he's talking about is because the actual science is hurting their bottom line. That's it. And so they want to debate because as long as they're having this debate, they don't actually have to do anything. And they can keep making money while the world burns. Look, and burning it is. If nothing changes, the world is on track to hit an estimated 2.7 degrees Celsius of warming by the end of the century. We were supposed to only hit 1.5. That ain't going to happen. Oh, hell no. And look, record temperatures continue every single year. Continues to get warmer and warmer. That's a problem. And look, here's the thing. Trump coming into office even has ExxonMobil worried. I kid you not. They're like, hey, Donald Trump, you probably shouldn't pull out of the Paris Climate Agreement. When ExxonMobil is concerned, the very company that has been sitting and helping climate denial for decades, when they're worried about Donald Trump and his promise to drill, baby, drill, that really says something. Look, they know the reality. They know that if we continue to do what we're doing, that it's going to be disastrous, even for them. Look, it already is disastrous. According to the World Meteorological Organization, the record-breaking rainfall and flooding, rapidly intensifying tropical cyclones, deadly heat, relentless drought, and raging wildfires that we have seen in different parts of the world this year are unfortunately our new reality and a foretaste of our future. Speaking of the future, at that point, when we look, we're already at the point where alternative facts or science is not going to save anyone. Okay, it's not going to help anyone avoid dealing with the consequences of the actions our societies have taken. At that point, it will be too late. But right now, it isn't. Yes, we still have a lot of hardship baked in, okay? But it's not over. There are things that we can do as a world, as a society. Now, under Donald Trump, I don't think we're going to do anything. We're going to go in the wrong direction, but that doesn't mean that the rest of the world has to come with us. So that's your warning. And hopefully the other countries, without the United States leadership, because there is no leadership here anymore, hopefully they will take the reins and actually do something positive when it comes to climate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.